Okay, we should be live right now. Hi everyone. Not sure if anyone is here. It is December 12th, third college basketball second half lines show that I'm doing here. I'll wait till people join in before I discuss what I wanted to talk about a little bit in terms of expectations and money management and all that. We can talk about a lot of things. This is going to be a chilled out, relaxed show because there's only two 7 o'clock games tonight on Eastern time, and then that's it. And then tomorrow only three games. We can talk about the games the overnight lines that are out for tomorrow's games, and we'll look at the halftime lines for the two games that are coming up in about 15 minutes. Might not have a play on either of those, but it'll be pretty relaxed. Jim Rome's a douche. Shout out to you. Thanks for joining. Jim Rome's a douche. It's going to be an extremely chilled out, relaxed show tonight. Just two 7 o'clock games coming up, halftime's coming up, and then a couple of overnight lines that we can talk about that I do have opinions on. Colorado State, like in that one at 4.5, vaguely like in Creighton, and maybe a little bit more of the team total over in that one. Vaguely like in Indiana, team total over as well. Not impressed at all with Nebraska. Indiana given 17 is probably just a little bit short. Yellowhammered 75. Shout out to you. Waiting for people to come in. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. We'll look at the halftime lines that'll come up in about 12 or 13 minutes. Nuke Worker, shout out to you. Perfect rotation, the man, Pete. All right, so I'll just talk about what I want to talk about just before we just the start of the show for anyone who's watching right now, and maybe anyone will watch it on replay, which is about expectations for these plays, right? Shout out to Deer Slayer Ski, Rutgers. Thank you for Rutgers second half last night. Okay, so I've done two shows so far. This is the third show. Show number one, what happened? All three of the big plays that I liked cashed easily. That was great. But I also gave out six totals, small, and all of them lost. And so and then there were other plays that were kind of mixed. So day one overall was a small loser for me, even though the big plays, all three of them cash. And then, of course, yesterday, 6-1. The one loss was an overtime loss. So that was an awesome day. So that was a big winner for me. So overall, the 2 days combined, I'm up. Very nice positive results, about a 13% ROI, which is great. Point is that you have to use money management at all times, bet size appropriately, don't get crazy. You can't have one day, one game or one day, one slate of games, determine your entire season because you overbet it. So there's going to be losses, there's going to be wins, there's going to be days where you're 6-1, there's going to be days where you're 2-8, hopefully not too many. And yes, the three huge plays from the first show won. But I can guarantee you, hopefully not in this show, but I can guarantee you there are going to be plays that I'm going to bet on and grade as big, right? Rate them as big, like them a lot, and some of them will lose, and some of them will lose by a mile, So, and that's just how sports betting goes, right? You have to always keep that in mind because, I know that there are some people who probably on the first day maybe tailed every play I gave, flat bet them and lost, which is fine. But the point is, it's as they say, a marathon, not a sprint. You have to use money management at all times. There's a ton of variance. There's going to be small losing plays, big losing plays, small losing days, sometimes big losing days, hopefully not that much. So my point is, overall, the first 2 days were phenomenally successful. But there were some losers thrown in, right? Some bad results. Yesterday, 6-1 out of 7 plays. Day one, 3 big plays, all of them cash. But then you could also look at the 6 totals that I gave on day one. All of them lost. Yes, you take the good with the bad, right? You take the good, you take the bad, you add them all together, and there you have the facts of sports betting, especially when it comes to college basketball second halves, which is what we're betting here. Ton of volatility, ton of unpredictability. Overtimes are going to matter constantly as they mattered in the one loss yesterday. Classic situation. Sometimes you get saved by overtimes, which, hopefully will not happen too much because that still indicates that you might have made a bad bet. When I get saved by overtime, when I have a losing bet that I should have lost, where that gets turned into a winner with overtime, I'm thankful for it, kind of. I'm definitely thankful for it. And I'm like, all right, this offsets some of the losses that I took because of overtime that should have been winners. But mostly, I'm also saying, all right, I got bailed out on that one, but let me look at this play and see what I might have done wrong. because, I don't want to make a habit of having to rely on OT to bail me out. All right, let's see what we got here. 37 Scanler. Pete, you're going to be sharing your pregame looks also in today's show, definitely. Long term, probably. I have to figure out how to do it. Again, when I say don't tail my second half picks in this show, obviously I'm just kind of like, kidding and doing it for stick or whatever. But when I say don't tail my pregame bets, that I kind of seriously mean. The reason that I'm doing this show is because I have reason to believe that, long term, these picks probably will be okay to tail. Not huge. Again, I'm hoping to hit, 53.5% on 110 lines, something like that. My pregame opinions and bets are not, good enough for me to want to share public. I mean, for me to, encourage people to tail, for me to say that they're good, that they're tailable. I'm happy to share them, but it's a little bit different from these second half lines. But to answer your question, yes, I will be sharing my pregame looks anyway at some point in the near future in some capacity. Maybe on Patreon. I was thinking about maybe having the Patreon be something like where it's kind of like if people want to tip me, they can. And then I'll give them something like a little extra on Patreon, and also have it be like where if, people don't have a lot of money, which is fine. I don't have a lot of money. I'll give it to them for free, so it'll be kind of like a half Patreon kind of thing. So I am going to share my pregame looks 37 Scanler. And for sure, definitely, though, my pregame looks absolutely inform my second half opinions and bets, my halftime opinions and bets. So I don't handicap the full game stuff just for my own health, my own enjoyment. It's an essential part of what I do in these second half plays, and that's why when you hear me analyzing the stuff, I talk about what the pregame analysis would tell me to do and what the halftime analysis would tell me to do. And ideally, I want them to agree. Sometimes they disagree, as in, for example, with the Merrimack game yesterday, right? My pregame look told me to, what was it? I think I don't even remember. I think it was my pregame look said take Army, and the halftime look said take Merrimack. I forgot what it was. Sometimes they usually disagree somewhat, and then I have to make an artistic decision on how to analyze it all. But when they agree, that's when it's usually a definite play, usually a medium big or big sized opinion on the second half. So my point is that I definitely handicap pregame lines very seriously, and the purpose of that is half to bet, or like a third to bet. I do sometimes bet them, of course, but mostly it's to inform my overall opinions on the halftime lines. So I handicap all the games, side and total, pregame. Why not share them? So there you go, 37 Scanler. Shout out to everyone who's watching right now, who's been so supportive. Everyone who's been so supportive of me all these months on Twitter. You have no idea how much that means to me. Nut Flush Allen, if you're watching right now or not, wherever you are, shout out all the people who say such nice things to me. It really makes me feel so wonderful. Paco Healy, shout out to you. Paco Healy, Grand Canyon +6 and under 133. That is a tough one, Paco Healy. We will talk about that. Yes, I like the under a little bit, and I actually don't like Grand Canyon. I didn't bet this one. If you gave me a free play on the game right now, I would put the free play on the Grand Canyon team total under. I have a small lean to the under, small lean to Northern Iowa. I didn't bet that one, but again, that's a classic example. This Grand Canyon Northern Iowa game. It's a fascinating game. My pregame analysis is I took very seriously. I didn't bet it, but it's definitely going to play a huge role in my analysis and possible bets on the second half plays. In general, I don't trust Grand Canyon right now. I think the ATS wise is what I'm saying. It's always very, very treacherous, especially at this point in the basketball season, to take road favorites in this range. A lot of times they can be very, very, very trappy, right? As Illinois was, Michigan was opened as a road favorite against Illinois. I think it's kind of telling that the Grand Canyon line hasn't dropped to 4.5 or something like that. I would be leaning Northern Iowa and leaning to the under. And if you gave me a free play right now on that game, I would put it on the Grand Canyon team total under. But no bet on that one. We'll see where the second half score and lines are. I don't trust Grand Canyon ATS right now. Small lean to the under, absolutely. And I think my read on the total on that one is solid. It's just the edge is very small. right? My numbers have it, at about 130, 130 and a half or something like that. So those are tricky bets to play, where you have you feel where I have a very strong opinion on a very small edge. You know what I'm talking about? When I have my number, because a lot of times, and I'm sure that even people who are not using models and just eyeballing things feel the same way. Sometimes you see, you feel like you're seeing an edge, but you don't have a lot of confidence in it. Other times you do have a lot of confidence, and it's always a very tricky psychological thing when you feel very confident in a small edge. You know what I mean? Because you're like, oh, I'm sure I know what I'm seeing here, but the edge is also very small. So what do I do in best? So that's how I feel about the total on that one. I feel very confident that there's a very small edge on the under at 133. Paco Healy, shout out to you. Always asking the great questions and just being a great human being. Shout out to Flick My Bick. Shout out to Gower Ramesh. Gower Ramesh says, good, sir, you vanish a lot. That's true. You got a good eye there, Gower Ramesh. Yes, I do vanish a lot. I apologize. I'm not proud of it, but it's true. Now that you are back, hope to see you continuously. Gower Ramesh, yes. The reason I vanished a lot is, I'll tell you this, and this I am a little proud of. The reason I vanish a lot is because I don't go out into public with shit unless I'm really sure that I can believe in what I'm doing and stand behind what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I don't just throw out pics and videos and this and that and opinions and stuff just out of my ass just to put something out there, right? If I give a pic, if I do a show, it's because I absolutely 100% believe that I've given my best effort to make sure that it's something that at least I believe in. I might be wrong, but it won't be because I didn't do due diligence and make sure that I was that I 100% believed what I was doing. So the result is, sometimes I vanish. But this show, again, the reason I'm doing this show is because I was, I believed that I would have an edge on the college basketball second half lines this year. I was doing it for, a bunch of weeks to start the season, and I did. I had a good enough, set of results to say to myself, okay, Peter, you can now go and do a show publicly and give people your opinions. And, still doesn't mean that the picks are going to win. Still doesn't mean that the show is going to be good. Still doesn't mean that anyone's going to watch or care. But at the very least, I did my due diligence. So there you go, Gower Ramesh. That's why I do sometimes vanish. All right, so let's see. Alex Ledsinger, shout out to you. Let's see, what else do we have here? All right, we have the games are coming up in a few minutes. All right. I was just eating up some time there because we only have two. Shout out to Triggerman, Ron Lofton, NBA specialist. I know absolutely literally zero about the NBA right now at this moment. Not that even if I follow it, I do. NBA, longtime viewers of my videos know that, in general, I have a pretty good handle and read on pretty much every sport except NBA. NBA is tough, which is ironic because NBA totals were the first thing that I did successfully years and years ago in sports betting. But it's been a decade since I've been able to be profitable in NBA. All right, let's see. What else do you hear? Antoine Seymour! Shout out to you, Antoine Seymour. We got to look at the halftime lines and it was like right now, but I'm going to take 15 seconds to say shout out to you, Antoine Seymour. Miss your brother. Good to see you, Leche. Shout out to you, Antoine Seymour. Great to see you in the comment section. Pete, you the man. Thank you very much. You the man too, by the way. Antoine Seymour. I am the man, but you the man too, Antoine Seymour. All right. Ron Lofton, hope this West Virginia -8 first half gets my night started right. I didn't look at how the first half has gone, but I would have agreed with that one. Vague lean to the over, and I liked West Virginia in this game as well. And not West Virginia game, just in the first half. Austin Peay is actually a pretty tenacious team here. All right. Most shows are not going to be like this right now. Most shows I'm going to be a lot more stressed out, a lot less laid back and chilled out because right now there's only 2 games and there's going to be a lot more dead air where I'm just analyzing and crunching numbers as opposed to days like this where it's just 2 7 o'clock games. But now we are going to stop having fun and stop making jokes. And I'm going to start. And now instantly, as soon as I say that, instantly the pressure is on once again. Because yes, yesterday I went 6-1 in my 7 picks. And what does that mean for tonight's picks? Absolutely, literally 0. Means absolutely 0. 0. Ugh. It's not like when you're a musician. If you're a musician, you write a great song. What does that mean for the rest of your life? Everything. You can rest on that awesome song forever. In sports betting, if you make one awesome pick and analysis, it means nothing after the game's over and you collect your winnings. All right. Okay. Looks like the lines aren't up yet. Yeah, this is turning into a more fun show, at least for me, than I was expecting, and I'm so happy for that. I might try to get some kind of extra entertainment somehow for all the time when I'm doing these videos when there's still, because you know what happens when January comes. There you go, 80 games on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and so if I'm doing these halftime lines, there'll be a lot of just dead air, me just looking at numbers, trying to make decisions under pressure, and like right now, I shouldn't even be talking right now. I should be looking at these fucking numbers. All right, let me just find the scores. All right, right now we're going to have a boring time for a few minutes. Well, yeah, I'm going to try to figure out a solution for this part of the show where I'm looking at the numbers. See, I'm clicking on the wrong thing. All right. Let me get it together here. Let me get it together here, boys. All right. Here we go. Okay. Oh, the West Virginia game is still has like 4 minutes to go. Right? Are we seeing the right thing here? Then the Southern and Wright State game. That one was an interesting one. Again, I analyzed the pregame lines. Absolutely did not bet them, but thought, all right, my tentative opinions are slightly to the under at 143.5. But low confidence on that, as opposed to my opinion on the under in the Northern Iowa game. All right, talk amongst yourselves, please, while I try to bring up my numbers for the Wright State game here. Okay, yeah, all right, okay, all right, okay. I need to think for about 15 seconds here and look at some spreadsheets for about 15 seconds here. Please talk amongst yourselves. Entertain yourselves if you could do me that favor. Okay, yeah. Second. Okay. Okay. Halftime numbers say pass on the total. Pre-game numbers say take the under. Okay. Okay. This is small. I don't necessarily recommend you tail it. Again, I say this every friggin' play. And, but I'm going to bet it. I'm going to grade it. Wright State team total under 42 small. This is a tiny play. Wright State team total under 42 small. I don't love it, to put it mildly. Again, I grade the plays small, medium, big, and big. And, basically small would be 1 unit, medium small 2, medium 3, medium big 4, and big 5 units. So when it comes down to it, a play that's graded small, I bet very small. And in the end, those plays collectively tend not to have much of an impact at all on my overall bankroll because, even if they hit at 60% or 40% or whatever, because it's just such a small unit size, it winds up not mattering. But I bet them and analyze them anyway. Wright State team total under 42 small. Pre-game numbers say take the under. Halftime numbers say pass on the total. And no opinion on the side, really. Numbers say extremely tiny, unbettable lean to Southern +6. But combined with the very small lean to the under, it makes the under 42 for Wright State a small play. And whoa, just dropped to 41.5. There's no way that's because of this show. Whoa, the total dropped to 70. All right. I hope someone, if you bet it, I hope you got it at 42 because it just dropped to 41 and a half. There you go. And if you think half points matter in sports betting in general, wait till you start betting college basketball second half team totals. You will learn what a half point means. It'll seem like half your plays win or lose by like a point or two, you know? Okay, that was a play. 42. The Wright State team total under 42 small. Total just dropped to 70. So yeah, I leaned to 77. I didn't bet the total, and now it's down to 77. So there you go. Wow, West Virginia up by 16 there. Yeah, I thought that West Virginia first half was a good play, and it definitely has appears to have come to pass. Similarly to the Indiana game tomorrow. I don't trust Nebraska at all, especially on the road in a spot like this. Like in Indiana, in any which way. Full game team total over is probably good. First half team total over, probably good for Indiana. Indiana minus the points first half. Just don't really trust Nebraska. They're not good from the free throw line. You know, Indiana, you know, is a little bit up and down, but obviously a quality team, and I like them. Also feeling similarly about the Creighton game tomorrow, but not nearly as strong as Indiana, you know, first half over Nebraska. And that's how I felt about West Virginia over Austin Peay in first half. And look at that. There it goes. All right. We'll see what those lines are when they come out. All right. Maybe I should have made the team. Oh, wow. All right. Now the Wright State's back up to 42 and the total's up to 77.5. There you go. It takes an extremely tiny amount of money to move college basketball second half lines, by the way. College basketball lines in general, but especially lines like this. So, you know, small. Ton of volatility in college basketball. Please be aware of that. Please keep that in mind. That's something that can play into your favor. It's actually something, a big factor that I use to analyze these lines, but it also means that expect the unexpected on a regular basis, right? We know the deal. These are 19-year-old kids who care about whatever the hell they're caring about, you know, playing 20-minute half. You know the deal. All right. Let's see. See what else we got here. There you go. Wow. Nice. West Virginia up by 17. Congratulations. Whoever hit that, whoever bet that. Jay Peach. Shout out to Jay Peach. He'll talk about the NFL game going tonight. Make America Great Again, saying Pete moving lines. Yeah, I mean, but like I said, moving a line in college basketball is like, you know, I could probably move for max bet a team total, second half team total. You probably move the line no matter who you are. No, I'm not watching the lines, but okay, yeah, sipping lean and prune juice and Courvoisier. No, just kidding. That's one of the old jokes that we used to make. This is just, unfortunately, coffee, but it's fun to. All right, let's see what we got here. Comments here. Let's see any comments. Wow, people just talk about NFL. People fucking love NFL. I mean, I understand it, but yeah, people love an NFL. Shout out. Oh, Maxwell Smart. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go, Pete. Yeah. God, you know, Maxwell Smart, I guess I should have had more confidence in all my plays yesterday, but, you know, I did have confidence to make the Rutgers one a medium play and the St. Peter's one a medium big play, but, you know, I'm coming off a 6-1 day. I'm like, all right, you know, I still, every play, every bet I make, I'm like, do I know what I'm talking about here? I think so. Am I sure? No way. Again, happy to share. I mean, the point of this show is to, you know, share opinions that I believed in enough to make a show about and share publicly. The point of this show is not to give out picks that are guaranteed to win long term. I hope they do, and I'm betting them, but no guarantees at all. At all. Yeah. Slight lean to the under at 78 or 77.5, whatever you got, but not betting that. Wright State team total under 42 was a play graded small. Could have been a medium small play, but it's not. We're waiting on the Austin Peay West Virginia line. That game is still going on from what I'm seeing right now. So, yeah, break in the action even now at 7:55, we can talk about the games coming up. Iowa State. That's a very interesting game. I said that I would tweet out my plays that I bet that aren't going on during the show when there's not a lot of games, and that one does have definitely second half written all over it. I did wind up tweeting out Illinois in the Michigan game, right? Last night, looking at it. And, I hope if people want to tail that, I hope they were able to see it in time. That's the way these second half lines are. They're up for 10 minutes and then they're gone. Iowa State has second half written all over it, both as far as the side and the total is concerned. It's a rivalry game, obviously. We'll see how it turns out, but that one has second half written all over it. And then the Northern Iowa Grand Canyon game kind of has second half written all over it too. Again, I would, Northern Iowa is so tricky. Northern Iowa is the kind of team where it's like, I can't tell you how many times I've bet Northern Iowa first half unders, and most of the time won with them. But then a third of the time, the first half is 44-42. And you're like, where did that come from? Maxwell Smart, you know what I'm talking about, right? Northern Iowa Grand Canyon first half under. You're like, I think that's a good play. You hit it, and then 60% of the time you win. The times you lose are when Northern Iowa has those 44-42 first halves. So, my prediction for Northern Iowa Grand Canyon first half total, it's either gonna go under by 2 points, or it's going to be 44-42 at halftime. One of those games. Northern Iowa, such a funny team. All right. Nasty Nate says Max on the over, LOL. Over on what? The Grand Canyon game? Okay, sure. Sure. Beastly, DD624, we miss you, Pete. Shout out to you. Leonard Bohr says, thanks for reminding me Pete was live, Max. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Max, for reminding people. So Carlos Centeno says, Iowa or Iowa State. I mean, if you gave me a free play right now on the side, yes, I'd throw it on Iowa plus the points. I don't want to bet against Iowa State. Small lean to Iowa at +4. That could be completely wrong. But again, that's informing my thoughts on the that'll be informing my thoughts on the second half lines when they come out. It's a game that has second half written all over it, just like the Illinois game. All right, West Virginia game, halftime. There you go. Yeah, I like the under in this one too, but I don't know if the second half under is going to be bettable. 75 is the line. West Virginia, fuck. God, every line. I wish they were all as easy as Boston College against Albany. Oh, God, that would be a great show if every play were as easy as BC Albany, but they're not. Total jump to 75.5. I like the under on this game pregame. I like that one a lot, actually. That was actually a play and a bet for me. And now we have the halftime line. Yeah. Halftime numbers say pass on the total, and the full game numbers say pass on the total. Actually, halftime numbers actually like the over a teeny bit, which I don't. That's what the numbers say, I share with you what the numbers say. A science and an art is what this shit is. All right, there's no way I can touch the total. Side, can't touch the side either. If West Virginia wants to cover 4.5 in the second half, of course they can. Do they want to? Who knows? Who knows what the coach is going to do here? Numbers say small lean to Austin Peay at +4.5. Just not good enough for me to bet it. I definitely knew that if I liked West Virginia, it would have been on a first half play. And I probably should have bet that one. I didn't. I probably should have. Similar type situations tomorrow with Creighton and Indiana. I don't know. I don't know if this shit is bettable. I wish I could give you a play here. But, this is how college basketball is. You have to wait and attack your spots. Just like when you're playing tournament poker, you're sitting there, fold, 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 fold. Yeah. No play. Sorry. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't recommend a play at all here. These games tend to be, of the unpredictable games in college basketball, these kinds of games where you have a team like West Virginia against a team like Austin Peay with this kind of a halftime score, it's really coin flippy and unpredictable, right? You don't know what West Virginia is going to try in the second half. You can guess what the motivations are. Usually you can assume that coming out in the second half, a team like West Virginia won't care much about the final margin of victory, and that a team like Austin Peay is going to be fighting to, compete against a team like West Virginia as much as possible. But it's just unbettable. These are kids, 19-year-old kids. Let's look at the comments section here and think about this. QQ Wilson says, Pete, do I play live in play? Rarely. Once, yes, sometimes, but very rarely, and actually never on college basketball. I've done it at times in baseball, yes. The main reason that I don't, well, there's a few reasons. First of all, because it's like crack for gambling, for sports betting, right? You can easily wind up massively overpositioned on something with live betting. But the main reason I don't is just because the odds. I've talked about this already in these shows. I talked about this yesterday, and I think maybe in the first show as well. It's such a treacherous thing for the books that they have to offer you much shittier odds than pregame and halftime lines, as they should. Otherwise, they'll get cooked, and as a result. The odds are just a lot worse. And if I had a live betting spreadsheet that I believed in, where it didn't matter what the odds were, and I could still find edges, then I would bet it. But I don't right now, and so that's why I don't. The odds are just bad, and I don't have an approach to beating those lines that gives me the confidence to do it. So basically, I don't. QQQ Wilson, but the people who do are great at it. You know what I mean? I know some people do. Deer Slayer Ski says Iowa State underway. Okay. Brendan Cummings says, how you doing, Loshak? I miss you, bro. Shout out to you, Brendan Cummings. I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty well. I'm going to grow my hair back, my mustache back. And I'm doing these shows, Brendan Cummings. First two shows went well. Overall, the picks are positive. And that won't change tonight, because whether this Wright State team total under graded small wins or loses will have almost no effect on the overall result. So I can confidently say that after three shows, Brendan Cummings, the picks are nicely positive, which I'm so thankful for, Let's see. Shout out to you, Brendan Cummings. Mike Doyle says the top scorers are in foul trouble for Austin Peay. Yeah, it's just a, I wouldn't, can't touch it. A little bit of money coming out of West Virginia, yeah. It's just as far as I'm concerned, an ugly game. Maybe other people who also, look at second half lines very carefully see a great edge, and congratulations to them. You don't have to try to capture every single edge that exists in a market, just the edges that your approach allows you to capture, right? Oh, thank you. So, Brendan Cummings, how is your health? My brother, I could care less about sports betting. Now, there's a real human being, everyone, right? Look at that. How is your health? I could care less about sports betting. That's the way a human being's supposed to be, right? Shout out to you, Brendan Cummings. My health is fine. Thank you very much, Brendan Cummings. My health is fine. Thank you very much. I love you too, Brendan Cummings. My health is fine, except for the stress of now, giving picks, because I do suffer from a new syndrome that I identified, Brendan Cummings, and that is all in on every public play syndrome. I suffered from it. I self-diagnosed it, and I coined the term. It's a new disease, a new syndrome. It's when you give plays publicly and you cannot help but feel psychologically the same way that you would feel if you had gone all in with your entire net worth on a play. And the syndrome is called All In on Public Plays Syndrome, and I suffer from it. So aside from that, I'm doing great. It's tough. I'm dealing with it. There's lots of different cognitive ways of dealing with that syndrome. But other than that, I'm doing okay. Brendan Cummings, shout out to you, Brendan Cummings. He says, I care about your health overall, brother. I love you, man. No, I love you, Brendan Cummings. Thank you so much. You have no idea what those comments mean to me. Oh my God. Brendan Cummings says, it's cool, brother. I pray for your health and Jimmy the Bag's health every day because the water down there in Costa Rica is not the best. I don't know about that, actually. I lived there for a long time. I drank the water. I didn't use a filter. I didn't use anything. And look at me now, baby. Look at me now. I'm okay. I'm doing all right. I don't know. I look at some of they say the water in New York City is supposedly some of the cleanest and healthiest and most delicious water in the United States. Okay. Walking around the streets, it feels a little iffy, but okay, I believe it. Melvin Baton says, any plays yet? Melvin, there's only 2 7 o'clock games, and I gave a small play on Wright State team total under 42. And then the West Virginia game, I just, sorry. I just can't, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to update my record every weekend because I'm going to not do these shows on the weekends, and I'm going to make a graphic showing my record every weekend, right? Every week. And if the record's positive, it's just such a wonderful thing. If the record's negative, I'll put it up anyway. But if I want to give you plays, Melvin Matanzas, if I start pulling plays out of my ass and then they lose and then I have to put them on a graphic and put it up for the world to see, that's on me. I can't then go into that tweet and say, but this record really wouldn't be that bad if I hadn't tried to force plays for people who wanted them. They'll say, what? No, fuck out of here. No. So, okay. Ron Lofton, all in on public play syndrome. Yes. I discovered that syndrome. I'm the first person that I know of to officially have it, and I self-diagnosed, and there is no currently known treatment for it, although there are cognitive-based ways of coping with it, which I made up also. The cognitive-based ways of coping with all in on public play syndrome are also methods that I invented myself. So we'll see how this all turns out. We'll see how this all turns out. QQ Wilson says, I bet they don't add fluoride to the water in Costa Rica. I don't know. That's a good question, actually. I think I read that, Costa Rica just tends to copy everything that Western countries do. But I think I did read somewhere that they don't add fluoride to the water. I don't know. That's a good question, QQ Wilson. Good question. All right. Remos, Peter motherfucking Loshak, all the best to you, brother. Keep it going. Please grow the beard. Yes, I am. I had a beard like 3 days ago, but I shaved it. I didn't even realize on Monday of this week, I still didn't know I was going to do this show. I had been talking about it for weeks with Tom Gunn and my friend here. Let's see. What do they have here? So, all right. Before I, hold on a second. I just want to see what, I don't think, we could, if you want to, we could wait for, 36 minutes and do the Iowa State-Iowa second half line if you want. Let's talk about some of the games tomorrow. Maxwell Smart, I don't know if you're in here. Colorado State. I both like Colorado State on the pregame line, and it has second half written all over it. Nebraska, Indiana, again. I don't trust Nebraska. Indiana first half should be a play. Indiana team total and first half team total are probably looking pretty decent to me. And the Creighton Rio Grande game also looks like vague lean to the over, vague lean to Creighton team total over as well. So some interesting games tomorrow. I did already bet Colorado State plus 4.5 just a little bit, and I'll probably hit some Indiana team totals when they come out, and maybe a Creighton team total as well. Very small lean to the over at 140.5 in that game too. Vague lean to the over in the Indiana-Nebraska game. It's just I just don't trust Nebraska really offensively. I think it's a good, my numbers say a good spot for Indiana, both ATS-wise and offensively-wise. So, I'm looking at Indiana team total overs tomorrow. looking at, I've already bet Colorado State plus 4.5, and definitely the Colorado State. We'll be talking about it because tomorrow there's only, I'll probably do a show, I guess at like 8:30 tomorrow, because I don't know how many 7 o'clock games there will be. I didn't check, but those games are all 8 o'clock games. See if there's any opinions on those coming in. And I don't know, should we wrap it up now or should we wait until the 8, into the Iowa State second half? Let's see what we got. Jesse Nemeth, shout out to you. Your Slayer Ski says Indiana it is. All right, be careful. I just don't. I mean, it's a high spread. Nebraska's still a Big Ten program. It's just they didn't return a lot of scoring. They have problems shooting from the free throw line. I don't know if I trust them on the road. Indiana's a very solid team, but anytime you're given any kind of big program like that, 18 points always a little treacherous. But okay, Walla Walla Dose says stay on if you don't mind. I don't mind. I'm worried about you. It's like, hey, you want to just you guys want to sit and watch me sitting in an office with a file cabinet and a black wall behind me for 30 minutes while we wait for the Iowa State halftime lines? Sure, if you want to, we'll do it. If just 1 or 2 people wanted to, no, I wouldn't do it. But if 3 or 4 did, yeah, I think that would be it. If there are 4 different people who want me to do that, I will do it. If it's just 2 or 3, I'll still do it. If it's just 1, no, we'll cut the stream. Let's see what we got here going on. Let's see let's look at some comments here. Flick My Bick says, LOL, Pete making me crack up while I'm cooking my chicken. Wow. Are you a good cook, Flick My Bick? Because people who know how to cook chicken for real, you can do some vicious things with chicken cooking, especially with some spicy shit. How good are you at cooking chicken, Flick My Bick? Let's see. Alex Plays says, what did I miss? You missed almost nothing, literally. You missed less than probably any other show you'll ever come to late. I talked for about 8 minutes about how annoying it was that there was no play at all that I could recommend on the West Virginia game, and I gave a small play on Wright State team total under 42, which I told everyone not to tail. And even I only bet it, tiny, small unit size. So it's nothing. Let's see. Maxwell Smart 420 says, Pete, I've lost over 200 bets on Twitter this year. Jesus Christ. I know how stressful that is. And then someone could come in and say, yeah, but he won 308 bets on Twitter. It's like, no, it doesn't matter. When you're all in, that's the whole point of all in. If you go all in on every play, you win 19 plays in a row, and then you lose the 20th, you're broke. So if you suffer from all in on public plays syndrome, you're feeling like you busted out 200 times. It doesn't matter how many winners you gave. It's not rational. It's the mental disorder of all in on public plays syndrome that I suffer from. So when I read that, Maxwell Smart, I've lost over 200 bets on Twitter this year. Oh my God, it's like a germphobe looking at a public toilet. I feel for you, Maxwell Smart. All right, let's see. I'm looking for other comments. Shout out to you, Brandon Cummings, just a great human being. Great human being. QQ Wilson says, hey, Pete, you and Brenner still owe me a SPR t-shirt. LOL. I'm the wrong person to come to for that now. But I do, support you on your quest to get a t-shirt. Any other comments? I don't know. I'm looking at other comments. J. Peach likes the Iowa under 74.5 first half. Yeah. I have a small lean to the under in general on that game at 157.5. Yeah. So just looking for other comments. Alex Ledsinger says, Pete, you should go up with BMOC for some shows. Yeah, I will. I need to, I have my schedule. He has his schedule. And much more importantly, he has the shit he covers, which if it's not college basketball, I can't comment on. You know what I mean? I actually do want to look into the bowl games this year because I have a way of analyzing bowl games that's separate from the regular season. So it doesn't matter that I didn't follow college football regular season. So maybe I'll hook up with them and do some kind of like special bowl games bunch of videos. I'd love to do some videos with them. I just can't talk about anything except college basketball right now. Let's look for some comments here. JC Alvarez says, Pete, miss you, man. Been with you for 5 years now. Keep it going, brother. Thank you so much, JC Alvarez. But it's comments like that put so much pressure on me just to give winning picks. It just kills me if people tail my plays and lose. because and that's the problem, is that you can even lose even if you have positive EV play. So, all right, let's see. Jesse Nemes says, just got here. I'm the most definitely down to stay. Ron Lofton says, I'm here till you leave, Pete. All right. Nello L says, well, I'm followed. Maxwell here, and I followed and subscribed. Shout out to you, Nello I. Nello I or Nello L. All right, it's 8:15. I get you want to wait for another 28 minutes? We can do it. I don't know if I can maintain if I can do 28 minutes of shtick. I can do another 3. I don't know about 28. Dear Slayer Ski says, Slay. Brendan Cummings, I made all my money this year on football. I'm waiting after the next year to bet NBA heavily. Okay, congratulations to you, Brendan Cummings. If you want to bet NBA heavily, NBA is very tricky because I know from sports books and bettors. I know I have the NBA is by far my worst sport by a mile, and I know a lot of other people who say the same kinds of things. But I also know sports book guys who say that that NBA is the sport that they're most scared of. That the guys who can beat NBA kill it, and that that they get beat bad by sharps on NBA, which makes sense because there's a lot of people who who are generally good handicappers, but are always on the wrong side of NBA lines, and there's someone who's figured out why and done the opposite. So NBA is interesting, very treacherous. I'm terrible at it. I know a lot of cappers who are great cappers who just are terrible at NBA. I know the books are very scared of the sharp guys who know how to handle NBA. At this point in my career, I can pretty much say I feel pretty confident, given enough time, to get down on anything, including rugby, including curling, all that shit, except NBA. I'm sure I have vague plans on my to-do list to do some more in-depth modeling on NBA and this and that, and I could do it. It's just I'd kind of rather spend my time with other things. And NBA scares me, man. NBA scares me. Let's see. Other comments coming in. OG Wham says, NBA isn't that tough. For you. For other people, it's fucking killer. OG Wham, Drop Wham. Shout out to you for being in this show. Yeah, NBA isn't that tough if you can find someone who knows what they're doing and then just blindly tail them. Then, yeah. No problem. For me, now that we got OG Wham in here, OG Wham, by the way, what's your show? Plug your show. Plug the hell out of your show. I'll retweet your shows. I know. Trot Wham is doing an NBA show on Twitter. You should tell us what show that is, what you talk about in that show. Maybe I'll have you on as a guest if you want. One day, although I don't know when we'll have the time to, because with these maybe we'll do a separate show where I ask you about because I'd be interested. I'd be interested to have you on and just hear what you have to say about NBA and why it's not that tough. Although I do think that if you follow NBA closely and only NBA and you watch the games and stuff, I can understand why you would start to understand. I mean, it used to be all about coaching tendencies, I know that. Because I've read about what that guy Harlabos Vulgaris, that was the guy who killed NBA, back in the 2000s, and he's written about what he did. That's very interesting. Do a search for that guy if you like reading about betting history. This guy, I still can't even pronounce his fucking name. Harlabos Vulgaris killed NBA betting in the 2000s, and it's interesting to hear his. There was an article written about him that he once wrote, and it's interesting to just hear him talk about his approach, how he modeled it, and you can see that even him, when you look at his results on the years where he killed it in NBA, and he's talking about relatively modest returns, and you're like, this is a guy who was a freaking genius who was betting into the best sport that he could bet on. And even still, he wasn't making 50% ROIs here and there. He had a very nice ROI, but it was still very modest relative to what a legend he is. There's an article that I once read about. I mean, there's been a lot of articles written about him, but I read one article that was particularly interesting, and maybe I'll look for it and tweet it out. But I'm sure you guys will all find that article interesting if you can find it. So that was back in the 2000s, and I remember reading that article, and he would just talk about how coaching tendencies were one thing that he looked at, and that it was just like the books just were clueless to coaching tendencies, and he just exploited them, game in and game out. And then I also know another bunch of sharps were killing quarter plays at halftime, right? A bunch of sharps had figured out how to beat like fourth quarter lines at halftime in the NBA, just killing it. And then the book stopped offering it. They just took them away. They were like, great, you sharp guys figured out how to beat these lines. We don't have any other money coming in on it, so we're just taking them off. So I know that there are people who did stuff like that with the NBA years ago. I don't know what Harlabos Volaris's edge right now in 2019 on the NBA is. I don't know what he would say, but I'm sure that someone can still kill NBA. And Trotwam might be one of those people. I would love to just ask you what it is you look at, how you do it, what it is that you. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so, see, there you go. This is sign number one that Trotwam might be someone you might want to pay attention to, aside from meeting him at the Bash, knowing he's a great guy. He says, that's what I'm doing this year, only NBA, little NFL. Yeah. If you follow Fantasy Daily, I believe you can find matchup edges, and that's a good start in the NBA. Great point, Trotwam. Most important thing that I read about that is that this is not a guy who's trying to bet off more than he can chew, He's not saying like, oh, I'm good at NBA, and I also cap NHL and college football and NFL and this and that and this and that. I don't do well in them, but, he's saying he's only following NBA. That's what I'm doing right now, only college basketball. Couldn't tell you one thing about NHL, NBA, NFL, college football, none of it. Right now I'm only doing college basketball, and over the summer I had one of my best baseball seasons ever. Maybe my best baseball season ever. It was because that was all I was doing. I wasn't looking at anything else. Trotwam. Follow him on Twitter and watch his show. He says, that's what I'm doing this year, only NBA. If you follow Fantasy Daily, I believe you can find matchup edges, and that's a good start in the NBA. Yeah, that's what my gut would tell me, that, like, matchups are key, I just haven't figured out a way to analyze them, personally. Let's see what else do we have here. There you go. Wham Talk, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. I would love for you to be a guest. Me? Why would I'd be a guest on your show, and I'd be like, yeah, everyone who's watching now, keep watching. Just listen to him, not me. I don't have anything to say about NBA, except how bad I am at it, historically. Ski kills NBA. I know. Yes. Ski Profit also. And I regularly speak to him to pick his brain. Wow. You got the two of you picking brains. Wow. You're being modest, Pete, here. You're the best. Oh, thank you, OG Wham. Okay, yes. Okay, I am the best, but it's true that I am not. I can't beat NBA. I don't bet it at all, and it's been like that for a long time. Which again is ironic, because when I started, that was NBA totals were what I made my money at, and then it went on. That was for like 2 or 3 years, and then things changed. I wasn't exactly sure why, and the edge just evaporated. Let's see. Make America Again says he's director of quantitative research and development for the Dallas Mavericks. Yeah, see, that shit is changing everything, man. All these fucking teams and bettors and Twitter guys, all with their quantitative models. And, oh, God, it's just changing everything. Let me look at these comments here. Who's he talking about? Oh, Harlabos Vulgaris. Yeah, I can't pronounce his freaking name. Yeah, he's trying to get in the NBA front office now. It might be with him. Yeah, I remember that the NBA guys were recruiting him to do. Very impressive human being. And the only reason I'm pointing it out is that, he historically beat NBA, better, I believe, than anyone has ever done it, at least anyone publicly has ever done it. And I'm assuming that whatever he was doing in the 2000s to beat NBA that bad just doesn't work anymore, Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just guessing. I'm talking out of my ass in general when it comes to NBA. And one problem I always noticed with NBA that I always had a problem with, because I was always good at NBA playoffs, though. That was the thing. I always did well in NBA playoffs, and the regular season was just a disaster. And the main problem was just the scheduling. And I remember I would read, articles where NBA players would admit that over an 82-game schedule, there's no way that they could give 100% effort every night, which makes perfect sense. The college basketball schedule is not that rigorous, and NHL is similar. Baseball kind of, but not really. Baseball is not as intense a sport, obviously, as NBA. And I just had a really hard time after a while figuring out which teams, were motivated to give 100% and capable of giving 100%, because I knew just instinctively that there's no way that these players were giving 100% every single night because it's just impossible. And then later on, I would read interviews where they would talk about it, and coaches would talk about it. Coaches would talk about, this is one of those games where we just didn't show up. They would say stuff like, you're going to have these games over the course of the NBA season. And I'd be like, yeah, great. Those are the games you might want to try to figure out which ones they are for your betting edges. Let's see. Other comments. Hit the like button, fam. OG Wham. Shout out to you, OG man. Lodals Loshak. Yeah. When I first started, I was killing NBA totals. I was hitting like 56% or something like that. I remember it. I was like, this is awesome. I would repeatedly hit, I remember it, in the 2000s, I would repeatedly hit Spurs unders, right? They would be hanging these totals in the 190s and the upper 180s. And I would hit the under every single time and win, 70% of the time. And I was like, this is awesome. I'm awesome. And then I was like, is this going to last forever? And I was like, I know it's not going to last forever because nothing lasts forever, right? Except the earth and sky. But emotionally, I wanted to believe it would last forever. And intellectually, I didn't want to doubt myself. I was like, well, how do I know it's not going to last forever? Maybe it will. It sure didn't. But for a while, I would just pound Spurs unders in 2006 or whatever year that was. They would be 189. I'd be like, I know that's too high. Hit the under, hit the under, hit the under. And can't do it anymore though. OG Wham, best show on YouTube. Wow, which one? Tell us which show that is. OG Wham, Trot Wham, Walter Trotter. Let's see. MT13 says books bought the models. Yeah, right. They hired those guys. I know guys that they hired. You know what I mean? That's what they would do. Some guy would, Pinnacle used to do that all the time. I knew a guy who did that. He was beating Pinnacle, and then they would all right, you beat us. They were like, you beat us. You want a job? And the guy would say, sure. I'm going to make, the same money except with zero risk. That's what they do. They buy the models. They buy the guys. Absolutely. MT13. They've been doing that for a long time, and they're going to still do it. It's going to get worse, Excellent point. Yes. Nasty Nate says, this is the best show I've ever seen. I'm going to copy and paste that, and I'm going to print this shit out. I'm going to put it, that's what I'm going to fucking do. You know what I'm going to do on this white wall? I'm going to print out some of the comments of love, and I'm going to make a poster of them, and I'm going to hang it on the wall behind me. And that one's going to go on it. Maybe I'll make that the title of one of the posters. Shout out to you, Nasty Nate. Flick my bick. Very interesting. Yes. All right, we're at 8:28. We got the Iowa State game coming up, the halftime coming up in maybe 15 minutes. All right, you guys convinced me to wait for I wasn't planning on doing this. Yep, see, there you go. Now I look at the halftime in the West Virginia game. West Virginia's up 17-13, and I'm like, did I miss something? Like, no, that's exactly what I would have expected, West Virginia up a bit, passed on it, And there we go, Wright State, 25 points, 8 minutes to go. Probably going to lose. That's okay. No problem there. Let's see what's going on. Let's take a peek. Let's take a peek at this Iowa State game. See what's going on here. Wow. Iowa up by 14. Yeah. My pregame analysis of this was Iowa +4 small and the under 157.5 big. I didn't make any bets, though. And I should have. I should have taken the Iowa State team total over. I didn't. Mostly because I was just relaxing today, Took the day off, which you do have to do. That's another thing you have to do. Don't bite off more than you can chew, and also give your brain a rest. You know what I'm saying? I know it's hard to do because you're like, but what if there are edges I'm missing? Yeah, there are going to be edges you're missing, but you need rest, right? You know how much you need. If you're one of those quote unquote short sleepers who genetically only needs 3.5 hours a night, fuck you. I'm jealous. Congratulations and fuck you. I'm super jealous. I'm a long sleeper. I have hypersomnia. Left to my own devices, I sleep like 10 or 11 hours in any 24-hour cycle. Genetic deal right there. It sucks, but it is the case. But the point is, everyone needs rest. Everyone needs hoe cakes, and everyone needs rest. So give yourself rest. Today, I just rested. I should have bet my analysis said take the Iowa State team total under, and I didn't. Look at that. Wow. Iowa blowing them out. Look at that. Damn. Amazing. Yeah, I should have bet it. That was a little bit of a mistake. I could have rested and then also just bet the games I passed on. There's 2 games, but I just decided to take the whole day off. All right, we'll see what the score is at halftime. We'll see what the lines are. Not surprised it's going the way it was. Let's see, more comments coming in here. Make America Great Again. There's actually an MIT sports betting conference on YouTube with him and some sportsbook director, and I believe Daryl Morey as well. Yeah, I love those MIT sports betting conferences. I read about them sometimes. I've never, I'll check it out. It's just I don't have that much time, but I do have that much time. That's just that's bullshit. Alex Plays says, shout out to Jimmy the Bag for letting low baggers know you're back on YouTube. Yes. Right now I'm going to give a massive shout out to Jimmy the Bag. I don't want to start crying here. Just a wonderful human being. You all know that now. Of course you all know that. But just a wonderful human being. Better than me. And I'm pretty good, actually. I'm not perfect, but I'm damn good as a human being. Jimmy the Bag, even better. And you can tell him I said that. He knows I think that. Even better human being than me. And I set the bar high for human beings. Jimmy the Bag, even better. Even better. All right. There you go. Real TC says, wow, Pete is back. Shout out to you, Real TC. Real TC used to constantly, in the Low Bag show, ask me what I thought of various college basketball games and various college basketball lines. And I'd say, Real TC, I don't know. I didn't have any fucking time to look at that one. This show is all college basketball. Second half bets, but I'm going to give my analysis and pregame leans and stuff. Nuke Worker back in the fold. Yellow Hammered. Shout out. See, I'm crying thinking about Jimmy the Bag. Wonderful human being. Yeah. Okay. Nello I have a parlay of Iowa State. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Other comments coming in. Shout out to OG Wham. Shout out to Paco Healy. Print this shit out. Oh, I'm going to. And I'm going to make, how much? It's not expensive to make a little frame poster, right? How much can that possibly be? And I'll hang them up and have them for myself, and hang them up behind me. Brendan Cummings, do I still talk to Jimmy? Yeah, I mean, no, because we don't have that much time. Jimmy's fucking, is he still covering every game? I feel bad for him. You know what I mean? I'm in heaven here. All I have to do is college basketball. He's got to do everything except in MMA. I guess they don't make him do that. But he's fucking doing everything, right? NBA, NHL, college basketball, blah, blah, blah. That is a grind, man. That is tough. Even if you're just, because that's his job, if you're just doing it, for yourself, you can be like, all right, I'm following NBA and NHL, but I can take a couple of days off here and there. Jimmy's hosting the show by himself. Can't take one day off from any sport. That is tough. I did it. I know what it's like. Ooh, that is tough. That is tough. Amazing. I feel bad for him, actually. Let's see. What do we got here? Let's see. Make America Great. And you should try to get Super Chap here so people can tip you. Yes, I will. Thank you very much. Paco Healy, MLB is the grind. No way. And baseball, when baseball's going on, there's nothing. When I'm doing baseball, I have time to start looking at, rugby and, Australian shit. MLB, yeah, I mean, MLB is a pleasant grind, I find. And actually, MLB, I had a great MLB this past season, and I was really delving deep into it, putting a lot of time into it, but it was very pleasant. Not like this time of year, That's a different kind of grind. This is a grind with all capitals, not just capital G. This is a grind with all capital letters. And I feel for Jimmy the Bag, having to cover that shit every single day, every sport, no break. Unreal. Let's see, what do we got here? Do Trooper Dad channel so people can tip you. All right, sure, yeah. And you know what? Maybe maybe the first tip I ever get, I'll do like stores do. It's like their first sale. They frame the dollar. I'll take a screenshot and go withdraw the money and put that shit in a frame too, and hang that on the wall. OG Wham, we friends for life. Yes, Trot Wham. Let's hang out again sometime. Hell yeah. Paco Healy, shout out. Jesse Nemeth, what were you focusing on, Pete, for MLB? Team totals, sides, overs, under, everything. Traditionally, in every single sport, going back to day one, I've always done better, much better with totals than sides by a mile. And that's still the case with me. But this year, I just had a really good overall read. And, of course, most importantly, I was beating the closing lines in MLB, although it was very interesting. I had a guy, a quant guy, who was one of these guys who, like, he's like a close friend of mine, loves me as a person, but he's like one of these super quant nerds. I'll tell you the story. We got about 4 or 5 minutes to go. This is a quant guy. He used to work he used to work on Wall Street, and not as like a boiler room guy, as like a hedge, as like a quantitative guy. I'm not going to mention the companies he worked for because I don't want to out him or whatever. But he's a super quant guy. A good friend of mine, loves me as a person, loves me. Well, in all the years that I've known him, though, could not get him to say one nice thing about my handicapping in terms of its profitability. You quant guys know what I'm talking about. These guys will be like, oh, you don't know if you have an edge. I have to see your model. I have to see your expectations. I have to see your methodology, this and that. I mean, this guy would be like, if I told him I was going to run for president, he'd be more supportive than if I told him I had an edge in baseball, right? But so this past year, I kept meticulous track of everything. The lines, the times, I'd timestamp the times when I was betting them, took a meticulous spreadsheet of everything, PZ, standard deviations, everything, and I shared it with him and this and that. And finally, for the first time in our entire lives that I've known him, and I have it saved on my phone, he said something nice about my possible edge in MLB. That's how good my MLB season was this past year. A quant guy who is impossible to impress said a mildly nice thing about what I was doing. So yeah, I had one of the best baseball seasons that I ever had. Everything, team totals, sides, and totals. Now, we're living in the fucking age of AI now, though. So who the hell knows what the MLB season is going to be next year? I have no idea. The whole thing might be taken over by bots, K-wire. The lines might be super sharp or just go super crazy. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to repeat what I did last year, but I'm sure going to try. And why was I talking about this? Oh, yeah. The reason I was able to do so well was because I was able just to focus on that, and I didn't have to do all the other stuff that I would normally have to cover. I don't know why I just went on that tangent. What was my train of thought? Why was I telling you that? I don't remember. It was because Brennan Cummings says that story is awesome. Nuke worker. It only gets better for you, Pete. The future looks bright. Not if the AI bots take over. Then maybe not all of us are fucked, but I'm definitely in the group that's fucked. All right, 8:38 p.m. We got about 6 more minutes to go. I don't know how to handle this now because I was hoping for a relatively see now all the fun of just hanging out for a few bunch of minutes. Now all of a sudden the pressure's back, having to go on record, either go on record with a play or disappoint everyone with no play. Right? You can't win. It's like Sophie Strozier or something. You can't win. Either I give a play and I feel stressed out unless it wins, or I don't give a play and then I feel stressed out because there was a game and people want to play and I didn't give one. I have to wait till the halftime is over before I can run my numbers here and tell you exactly what the numbers say. So we got a few minutes to go. But just eyeballing this, I don't know if there's a bet I can make here. I mean, I would make a bet just for the sake of the show if I didn't know that people weren't also then maybe going to tail it. So, yeah, just eyeballing it. If I had done what I normally do and bet the first half, the pregame lines, I would have had the Iowa State team total under. And then I would look at this halftime line and say, okay, I don't know what the second half is going to bring, but I'm probably going to win with my one bet on this game. I'm happy that I capped it that way and then call it a night and move on. But I didn't bet this game at all. And now we have a halftime situation here. that looks like it's not going to be too promising. Iowa State will probably be, a 4.5-point favorite, something like that. Total will probably be, 80.5, 81, something like that. And I don't know if I can touch either of those plays. Probably, I'm guessing that my numbers will say small value on an Iowa State team total over. That'll be super high. That's what I'm guessing the numbers will say. Just because I've done this so much and I see what the numbers spit out, my assumption is that the numbers will say small, very small edge on, an over on a very high Iowa State team total. I don't know if I want to bet that. We still have a few minutes to go. All right, let's see what we got here. Nuke Worker, smash the like button, fellas. Maxwell Smart, Iowa State team total under 6.5 live. All right, hope you cash. Hope you cash. MT13 says, yeah, but you can bot too, especially when fishing for lines. Yes. Nuke Worker, don't force it, Pete. D-Money, just be you, Pete. No, just because of pressure. J. Peach says, shit happens. Yes, that's true. That's something I really need to internalize. Thank you, J. Peach. That's, the simplest piece of advice that anyone's ever given. Everyone should be able to have that internalized by now, but I still don't. I still don't quite have shit happens internalized. Thank you for reminding me, though, J. Peach. All right. Make America great again. See if you can get Jeff Cadillac on here, Pete. That I can definitely do. Can I? Yes. Should I? I don't know. Maybe. Why not? Yeah, I mean, that would be random as hell to have Jeff Cadillac suddenly breaking down the NFL playoff games. Why not? Why? But why not? Right? That's a tough one. It feels like the Iowa State team total here. Why? Why not? All right, we got 2 minutes to go. Iowa unbelievably dominating. Hopefully we'll see something similar in the Colorado State game tomorrow because I did bet Colorado State plus 4.5. I did hit that one. Similar situation, similar line, rivalry game. The worst team is the dog. Hopefully that happens. Oh, shit. Wow, the Nebraska line dropped. Damn, okay, maybe I'm wrong there. I had that game capped Indiana minus 17, probably the way to go. As again, if you're planning on being a regular viewer of this show, you're going to see a lot of opinions that I give out and a lot of bets that I make that are just way wrong. Not just losers, but pretty clearly and obviously just wrong. So be prepared for that. All right, let's see. What do we have here? Other comments coming in. Again, I'm guessing the halftime line will be Iowa State minus 4.5 or so, probably minus 4.5, minus 115. Total will be 80.5, 81, something like that, maybe. Let's see. Other comments coming in, if there are any. How many people are still hanging on here? Let me just check if I can see. I can't see. Oh, 64. Really? Wow. Shout out to all 63 of you. Shout out to everyone. Let me look at just some comments to see if I have anything. Oh, here's a question from Brandon Cummings. Do you still bet quantity over quality in totals on baseball, or do you prefer less quantity now? Well, I just bet whatever I think, however many edges and to whatever degree I think I have them. This past year, there was a high quantity, actually. I had a lot of bets going this past year in baseball. The quantity did not decrease at all. Let's see. Other comments coming in. And then we'll look at Iowa State. Flick My Bick. Shout out to you, Pete. Shout out to you, Flick My Bick. Deer Slayer Ski. Joe M minus 6.5 on 365. Nick Novotny. Big Petey is a beast. Shout out. Joe Rich Ramirez. Shout out to you. All right. Where are we? 30 seconds to go. All right, a little bit of dead air, but the line's going to come in, and then we'll wrap up the show. This is not how most of these shows are going to be. Of course, obviously. When the regular season kicks in, most of these shows are just going to be manic chaos with halftime lines coming in. That might actually make the show look worse. I don't know how that's going to all work out, because when I'm doing it by myself with no camera, it's chaotic, and every half second matters. If I'm doing a show with it, and one of those pretty much every single Wednesday and Thursday and Tuesday, where there's 25 7:00 games coming in, and then 7:30 games, and then 12 more 8:00 games coming. I don't know how it's all going to work. I have no idea. The show might not be doable, or maybe it'll be doable in some other way, or I don't know how I'm going to handle that. But it's going to be crazy. Not going to be like this, joking around, reading comments, shooting the shit. All right. Iowa State down 15. Wow. Let's see what they're giving. It still boggles my mind that I still can't pronounce Harlos Varlalabos' name. It's not that hard of a name. And I'm not doing that for comedy's sake. I really just can never remember his name. 5.5. Wow. Okay. Yeah, and the total is 81. All right. Higher than I thought. Yeah. I'll run some numbers here. I mean, I can definitely tell you that if I weren't doing a show right now, I'd just be like, all right, I'm not betting it, and pack up and go. Let me look just a little bit further. Damn, 5.5, 6. All right, I'm just gonna think for a few seconds, look at some things for a few seconds, and then we will wrap this up. I think all things considered, this was a fairly successful show, and I think it's gonna be the same tomorrow because there's not that many games tomorrow also. And look at that. Wright State covers 41 points, just like I said, right? Small edge to the under. No, I mean, looking at a result like that and saying, see, I was right, that's obviously a stupid thing to do. But it cashed. To anyone who tailed, congratulations. Cashed by a point. There you go. You guys catch that? There you go. Cashed. 1-0. All right. That settles it. I'm definitely not going to make an official pick on this Iowa State game. I am going to take my 1-0 record and go on Twitter and brag about how I had a 1-0 night. I'm not going to make a pick here and risk having to be 1-1. That's something that BMOC does very effectively, and I know I should emulate that. End it now. Bam, 1-0, done. Done. Mission accomplished. But let me look at this game just a little bit more. Let's look at these numbers just a little bit more. All right, thank God. All right. So anyone who tailed Wright State, it was a heart attack. but it cashed. There you go. Did anyone? Nutflush Allen, bringing back memories. Shout out to you, Nutflush Allen. Once again, I know I say this over and over again, Nutflush Allen. Thank you for being a great human being, a supportive person to me personally, and a great friend. Shout out to you, Nutflush Allen. Yeah, here we go. Melvin Betances says Iowa State will not play as shitty. Iowa will score. Tell me what you think. Maybe, fuck it. Maybe I will make a play here and just risk it. Iowa State team total 43.5. We know that Maxwell Smart likes the under that he bet live. Total seems to be getting bet down a little bit. Yeah, I should have given out the under on that Red State game as well. I liked it. Ironically, that one cashed by a wider margin than the team total. I'm not going to bet this. Yeah. Let's see what people have to say, and then we'll wrap this up. Caden just says, wow, Pete, shout out to you, Caden. Shout out to you, Caden. Melvin Betances says, Iowa State will not play as shitty. Iowa will score. Iowa will still score. Joe Rich Ramirez says, great show as always, Pete. Sorry I was late. Hey, no problem, Joe Rich Ramirez. You missed out on a winning pick. You also missed out on a potential heart attack because it cashed by 1 point. Make America great again. Pete on fire. Shout out to you. Make America great again. Yeah, Melvin Betances likes over 81, and I have to say I agree with that. This is another situation where my halftime lines and the pregame lines are disagreeing. My halftime analysis says take the over. Pregame says, hold on. Pregame says stay off, so it's not, yeah. Yeah. Yes. Officially, the over is see, I'm messing up. I just dropped something in my coffee here. I'm not going to bet it. 81. I think there's a very, very small edge on the over. 81 minus 105 I'm seeing now. Certain people know that I don't mention actual book names in this show. The rule number one that I made up in the first show, I don't mention any book names unless they pay me. So far, no books have paid me. Therefore, no books get mentioned. But there is a book that has 81 minus 105 right now for the over. Probably has a little bit of value, but I'm not going to bet it. I can't cut the stream until the line is taken off. I think there's probably a small edge on the over 81. I agree with Melvin Betances. Let's see. OG Wham, fuck you, books, pay us. Yes, pay us. Not that much, but pay us. See, let's see some comments here. All right, so again, I'm not going to bet this. I'm not going to make an official play. I do think there's small value on the over, even at 81 minus 105. Maxwell Smart says he likes the team total under for Iowa State, which he bet live. All right. We're just going to sit here for a few seconds, and then we'll Maxwell Smart says, what about 80.5 minus 120? Yeah. I can't do it. I will say, though, that if you gave me a free play right now and I had to use it on any play here, I'd throw it on over 81 minus 105. But I'm not recommending anyone do that, and I'm not even making that a pick. That's not one of my official picks. I gave one official pick today, small, graded small, 1 unit, and it cashed. We're done. Undefeated day. Day 3 of the Low Shack Tail at Your Own Risk, obviously, college basketball second half lines show. Very fucking tempting, though, to bet 81 minus 105 up. Now, there you go. Creeping back up a little bit. A little bit. Creeping back up. Creeping back up. Maxwell Smart asking about 80.5 minus 120. No, you really, but if you're going to bet this stuff, seriously, it probably behooves you to have push percentages for all these numbers and to know how much a half point on a college basketball second half total is historically worth. All right. I can't. Let me just look at this. What? Look at what? What am I going to see? There's only what am I going to look at? Rebounds. I already looked at it. Shooting percent. I already looked at it. What am I looking at here? I'm looking at the same shit I looked at for the past 2.5 minutes. Just so tempting to take over 81. But I'm not going to. And especially because this is a rivalry game. You guys know that, right? Rivalry games also expect the unexpected, right? These guys do care about this stuff. Yeah, I'm going to pass. I'm not going to take that over 81, even though it probably won't cash. And if I don't, and if it does cash, I'll be totally fine with having passed on it. All right. I think that's it. What did we do? An hour and a half here for covering 3 games? And overall, it was a decent show. Skylar still says she wants her glow-in-the-dark stickers. Yes. When is her birthday or Christmas? I'll send you guys. See, now it's different. All that stuff about how it's so hard to ship shit from Costa Rica in and out, that wasn't a lie, Nutflush Allen. It's hard to mail stuff into and out of Costa Rica. I guess mailing out is not that hard. But, yeah, Nutflush Allen, if I can provide your family with some love, with some Christmas presents sprinkled with love, let me know. The only problem is I have no idea what the hell to buy anyone, let alone kids. I have no idea what to buy people, but I want to do it. Let's see. All right. I think that's about it. Once again, OG says, by the way, the thumbnail, beautiful. Yes, thank you very much, OG Wham. I did that. It was, I was like, I had a 6-in-1 day yesterday. So this is me smiling. This is what my face looks like when I'm coming off of a big day. And I did it again, didn't I? Coming off another big day. 1-0, baby. Then we're going to have to do it again on Friday. Nutflush Allen, she asks you about you all the time. Nutflush Allen, I seriously want to buy your family Christmas presents. I just don't know what to buy. What the hell? I've never had a family. What do you buy people? Like I said, I was like, the last time I knew kids was when I was a kid. And the girls that I knew then, they liked stickers. I don't know what the hell to buy people. Remember that, Nutflush Allen? I was sitting next to Jimmy. I was like, hey, let's buy them a present. Like, what do you think they would like? And everyone was like, they want an iPhone. And I was like, wow, times have changed. That's not how shit went down in the 80s. You wanted to buy a kid a present, a little girl a present, you say, here's some fucking stickers. That's it. They cost 89 cents. Not an iPhone and shit. But yes, Nutflush Allen, I'm serious. I'm serious, Nutflush Allen. I would like nothing, because I don't have people to do nice shit for. I would like nothing more than to, I'm assuming you have a tree, right? I'm sure you put a tree in your house and put presents under it. I would love to send presents to the entire Nutflush Allen family. Except I don't know what to get. So you have to tell me. You have to tell me what to. All right, we'll talk about that offline on Twitter. All right, that's it for the show. What a wonderful show. It was fun. It was a good show because I am now in an even better mood than I was when we started the show, which would not be the case if the Wright State team total had lost, but it won. Great show. Thank you very much. I love you all. I'm not kidding. And we'll be doing this again tomorrow. I'm not sure when the show tomorrow will be because I haven't checked the schedule, but I just noticed that the 3 games that are up now are at 8 o'clock. So if that's the case, start it at 8:30, not 7:30. I didn't check if there's any added games that will start at 7. If there are, I'm not sure what we'll do then. But I'll let you all know. Shout out to you. See you tomorrow.